Hey YouTube, it's Mark here. Forgive the formal attire. Just finished a day at work here, second day on the new job. Regretfully, this isn't the kind of video that I would like to record because it's with sadness that I have to let you know that my mother-in-law passed away yesterday afternoon, UK time. This wasn't really unexpected. She became quite seriously unwell. She had a problem, I think I mentioned, with her gallstones, and she was hospitalised for a few days, I think a couple of weeks back now. And then she sort of went downhill pretty quickly, and it turns out that she got pneumonia, and there was some other unbeknown problem that was discovered, and she just very quickly went downhill. Her blood pressure dropped to a ridiculously low level. She ended up slipping into a coma and passing away. And what I wanted to talk about briefly was that in my prayers for my mother-in-law, I'd asked the Lord to be merciful to her. And this is the kind of prayer that I had for my adopted dad as well, in that you don't want them to suffer. So either the Lord can take them home to be with him, in the case of a Christian, of course, or that the suffering, is ended. One way or another, it's ended. And that was my prayer, because when I recorded the video recently, I kind of could see the writing on the wall in some respects. It was so serious, and the information that I was being given led me to believe that this was kind of going to be it. And so that was what my prayers were for. And I'm grateful, very grateful, that the Lord was merciful and didn't let her suffer. I got the impression that while she did suffer a bit, it was just very short, and then before anyone knew what was going on, she slipped into a coma and then passed away. So on that hand, I'm happy. Of course, I'm grieved to lose my mother-in-law. She was a very good woman. She was kind to me. She gave me her blessing to marry her daughter, and she was always good to me. And obviously, I'm very sad, for this to happen. My last memory of her was giving her a big hug. So when I went over to Manila in the Philippines, I greeted her, gave her a big hug, and we talked for a while, as best as I can do, because my Tagalog or Filipino is it's limited. It's not great for long conversations, but I can say a few things here and there. So it was nice to express, my happiness to see her again, and it was good like that. And so my last memory is a good one, and I'm grateful for that. And the other thing to remember as well, she was 84, which is impressive. I remember getting to know her over the last few years, just her diet, the way she sort of lived her life, and it doesn't surprise me that she lived so long. She was very healthy, looked after herself very well, from what I could tell. And it was that was impressive. 84 is very impressive. So as we say in the UK, she had a good innings. It's a cricket reference if you don't know what I mean there, but she had a good innings. She did really well, and more importantly, towards the last few days of her life, the family were trying to make sure that she was saved, because the thing is, and speaking honestly, it's not always clear. People can certainly profess to be Christians, and they can live what you would call a Christian life. She wasn't a Catholic, and she went to the local Baptist buildings that are out there with the family, and but to ensure that was the case, my sister-in-law, the eldest sibling in the family, was essentially evangelizing her just in the last few days, to sort of plead with her, just to make sure, because you want to be sure of something like this, especially when you know that it's so serious. And both myself and this eldest sibling, we could see what was coming. So we both, while she's there and I'm not, of course, but we both still tried to prepare the family as best as we could for that. And obviously I was trying to prepare my wife, and so whilst it was obviously a shock and it's upsetting, they were relatively expecting it, so to speak. Doesn't make it any easier, of course, but I think that they were a bit more prepared for it. So going back to what I was saying, from what I understand, she died a saved woman. So that's the important thing here, because 84 years of life, whilst amazing, is useless if you're not saved. It doesn't mean anything at all, really. So she died a saved woman as far as I know. So again, death has no sting for a saved person. It's swallowed up in victory. So whilst it's a sore grief to lose somebody, and especially a Christian brother or sister, at the same time we should rejoice, that she's sleeping in the Lord. It's a great thing to think about. So it's strange, really, isn't it? On the one hand, you're kind of very sad and upset about it. On the other hand, you're really happy, and in some respects kind of jealous. I'd love to be where she is right now. So it's with sadness, brethren, that I share this with you today. That there are several other things that I want to talk about, but they're not important, compared to this particular video and issue. So I do hope that you join with me in rejoicing in her salvation and dying a saved woman. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. So anyway, that's really all I have to add on that. And I'd appreciate your comments and your thoughts. And if you want to drop me an email, BibleBelieverUK@gmail.com. That's pretty much it, I think. I don't think there was anything else to add. Just trying to think of other things that were going on. I mean, the funeral, for example, I think it has to happen fairly quickly because there's an issue with timing and so on. So I think the funeral preparations are happening pretty much immediately. Buying of flowers, and in the Philippines, even non-Catholics tend to have wakes, and it's like a viewing and all the rest of it. And whereas that's somewhat alien, certainly in the UK, it's quite a common, normal thing to happen out there. And so I think that'll be happening over the course of the next few days. I don't know all the details about it, but I think that the funeral will happen fairly soon. So yeah, it's a bit of a shock to the family, but yeah, it's good to rejoice, that a saint has passed away and is with the Lord, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. So that's it. Just going to record that short video. Sorry, it's not a positive in some respects, video about something else and whatnot, but it's still a pertinent video. So just letting you know. Thanks very much. God bless and Godspeed. Thank you.